look after them and our fellow Rotarians throughout the election.
Amen. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test: is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And Miss Ruth has a song for the greatest Rotary Club in the universe. How do you like the new sound system? Hey, Ruth. Nah, you got it. Dancing with the Stars.
I did not plan for this appropriately, so let's sing God Bless America. God bless America.
To the oceans, like with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Very good, thank you. Do we have any visiting Rotarians? Visiting Rotarians. How about guests of Rotarians? Do we have any guests today? I've seen a few guests. Do we have a guest over there? Anniversaries, okay. We'll go with that. So we'll go with that next. Yulia? Anniversaries. Let's give her the mic.
Thank you so much, Eric. Happy anniversary to our July couples. And guess what? We have almost all of them at one table. So I'm going to go around right there. And we're going to start with Steve and Sarah Dahl. Could you please say a few words about the wonderful journey that you've had together?
Yes. Brought my wife, Sarah Dahl, new Sedro Woolley High School assistant principal. And we've been high school sweethearts, been around for 22 years, married for 14, 13 great ones. We don't count one of those years. Yeah, anything you want to say? No, all right.
And David is going to represent him and Michael.
So Michael is at work today at his job, but we met on July 7th in 2002, the day after Ruth and Vince got married. The next day down in Seattle, and it was love at first sight. We had to wait a few years to get married. We got married 11 years later. And we were happy and healthy and just having a great time. Michael's loving his job and I'm loving mine, and we're having a great time. So that's it.
And we see evidence at every event.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Okay, thanks so much. And I'll introduce the Schweigerts. I was at their wedding in July and it was very fun. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. Always fun to hear from you. And we have a very special couple because both of them are Rotarians, and here they are.
David, thanks for reminding me that our wedding was in July. Appreciate that. Yeah. So, we got married in 2016. So been together in marriage for 6 years, knew each other Before that, around 2010-ish, but we also knew each other a little bit before that. Ellen served as a Rotary mentor, one of the Rotary mentors for the mentor program at the high school way back when, along with some of you are sitting here and we're participated in that as well. So, but it's been great. We're planning on going to where we go every year if we're around the Skagit Valley. We're going to go to Birdstock on August 6th because that's kind of was the start of our relationship together. So we try to go back there every year. I still fit in the shirt I wore, and Ellen still fits in the dress that she wore. So that's pretty good. So anyway, love you, sweetie. You want to say anything?
No, I love you too.
Okay.
Thank you. We have another representative of an anniversary couple right here.
So Vince and I have been married 20 years this year, July 6th. So that's pretty cool. We met the newspaper over in Moscow. We were both reporters, and he, liked me from the start. I mean, who wouldn't? But no, we were really, really good friends, and we hung out a lot. And then we started dating in May, and we got married in July. So we kind of just knew that it was right. So yeah.
Wonderful. And the friendship continues. And for whom I'm missing, I am 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Who am I missing? Yes. No. Someone else with the, did I not give you the rose? Oh, Ellen. Thank you so much. Yes, and we have a couple more anniversary couples. Adrian is going to represent himself and Pamela.
Well, most of myself, she won't claim anything else. So Pamela and I have been married since 2004. We met in 2003, got married 1 year to the day after we met. Now I have 2 beautiful kids, and she's actually out and about taking care of them right now, which is why she's not here up in Bellingham at swim practice and physical therapy and all that fun stuff. And we're still here, so something must be going right, and we're happy enough with that.
Sweet. And Stephanie would like to say a couple of words, even though her husband refused to come. I'm sorry, I'm going to let the cat out of the dog.
I mean, Greg, he says that I represent our family in all social events and that he respectfully declined an invitation to Rotary because he is rewiring our shop. Seemed more important today. So Greg and I met in 2001, actually, and we got married in 2010. I was 17 when we first met. So we had some growing up to do before we got married. We have been married for 12 years now. We have 3 children. We still like each other and we work together every day, which is sort of crazy. But yeah, it's good. We actually have a babysitter for tonight to go out on a date for the first time in a really long time. So, oh, the joy of having small children.
Wonderful. Thank you. Happy anniversary.
Great, thank you, Yulia, and congratulations to all the anniversary couples. We have some club business today. I'm going to start with Cheryl. So I was talking with Cheryl before we started here, and it has to do with our meals. And I know that she did a little selective surveying herself, but it has to do with soup. So we're going to pass on the soup between Memorial Day and Labor Day because she's just not selling a lot of soup and we're wasting a lot of soup. And it's summer months and it's warm and hot and not a lot of people are going to soup. So we will replenish, Cheryl will replenish with some fruits and salads and some things to replace the soup. All right, you got thumbs up, Cheryl, thank you. Okay, and Sunday, 6 o'clock, what's happening? Music in the Park. We have our first summer concert series. We have Lemon, what's the name of the band? Lemon Creek. I think that's it. Right? Okay. So we're looking for more help. And Chris has done a fabulous job putting this together. We have, as you know, four concerts. So Sunday's the first one, 6 o'clock. If you are part of the committee, or if you are just have in your heart, you want to help and assist somewhere in the park Sunday afternoon, email or contact Chris. You can contact me. I plan to go down and help as well, but it starts at 6 o'clock, so probably a little bit sooner. Help with raffle. Okay, good. Thanks, Chris. Okay. Lemon Creek. I remembered. Okay, Chris, anything else we need to? Okay. All right, so concert at the park. Who's going? Raise your hand. There we go. Volunteers right there. Ruth, others. Gotcha. Chuck, Mr. Rule.
Anyway, this is a reminder for everybody, doing this for Josh. Salmon barbecue. It'll be September 8th on a Thursday, and it starts at 5 o'clock. And Josh will be getting a hold of the committee members in a couple of weeks, but it's always a good event, and I urge you all to be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Yep. Okay. Barbecue, that's where we have the salmon, right? Okay. Okay, we did that, we did that. Any other club business? Have nothing else on my agenda here. Anybody have anything for club business? Okay. Mr. Paul, do we have a raffle?
So you can choose beer or you can spin. Perfect. 10-1-0. All right, one more. 21-2-1.
All right, we have some trivia today. Northern State Hospital opened in what year? 1912, 1902, or 1904? Good job. Guys aren't supposed to get this. I think Joellen underestimated the historical knowledge. Okay, no more multiple choice. I may come back because I need money. True or false? 1930s actress Frances Farmer was a patient at Northern State Hospital. True. It is actually false. She was a patient at Western State Hospital. That'll be $2 each. The name for the main building, also known as the administration building, is this is at Northern State. No? It was the Denny building, and that'll be $2 each. And Stephanie is picking up money. Thank you, Stephanie, for hopping in there. Moore Hall was named after Edward Moore, who was the first what at Northern State? I need one answer there. So you're saying administrator, he was a psychiatric patient in the Washington Territory in 1856. So that'll be $2 to the lovely Mrs. Bachmeyer. And you guys got away with it too easy. I'm coming back. We need to pay for the salmon barbecue, people. Come on. Don't be so smart. I know you guys know the answers to this. So the Olmsted brothers designed the grounds at Northern State. What other park was the city in talks with to design this park? The Olmsted brothers were also in talks to design this park here in Sedro Woolley. Which park? Is that your final answer? They say Memorial Park for those playing along on Zoom. It is actually Bingham Park. Mayor Johnson, I'm disappointed. And happy bucks.
I got a happy 20. I've got a project I'm working on at home, and I reached out to Mark Nelson and Phil, and both of them are helping me out with that. So happy $20 for that. Thank you.
And I have a happy 5 that I'll give as I'm walking to the next table. You know, this club is fantastic. When you send out an email and just ask for a favor, you would not believe how many responses I got immediately. And that is amazing. Also, if you already have a booklet, you can, behind the wheel, there's stickers with a correction for the last page that has Ron Wilson, Rich Wyridge, and Doug Wood and their contact information that was left off by the printer. And we decided the easiest solution was just to have them print a sticker. So grab one on your way out the door.
So here's another little trivia question. So my mom was chairman of the Norlem precinct when she was a precinct committee woman, and the name derived from Northern and asylum. Those two words put together, Norlem, because of Northern State. She lived up there. So a little trivia. So my happy bucks have to do with this Saturday. We're gathering to honor the memory of my beloved nephew, Blake Gurney. We're having a Gurney Tourney 2.0 drive-by fundraising event to raise funds for the Burlington Edison Alumni Foundation. Since 2017, we've given out 6 scholarships in Brian's memory. And what's really cool, some of the students that got the first scholarships have started to graduate. So we're really proud of that legacy. And it kind of ties in with another legacy in my family, in that of my late father, who died 40 years ago today. And so there are 40 students from Sedro Woolley High School that represent his life and service to the community. And so 40 years ago, I was in California. So the day he died was a travel day. The real impact of his death started the next day, July 22nd, when me and my sister went and met at Lemley Chapel, and we went to see John Ward, who at the time was president of our Rotary Club. So I vividly remember after Rotary, because that was a Thursday, a delegation from our club traveled to my family home, and they presented an idea to honor his memory and legacy by establishing a scholarship in his memory. And that's the only Rotarian that's ever happened to. And so it's morphed and evolved into the Brick Excellence Award. where a student at Sedro Woolley High School who's gotten a Rotary Scholarship is honored. So I'm so pleased that this past year, Emmett Mihalik received the 40th annual George C. Burka Jr. Excellence Award. I saw his mom and Emmett a couple weeks ago, and they'll be coming to Rotary to be presented sometime during the school year. They're traveling now, getting ready to send them back to school. So I note the parallels of his family and my family 40 years ago. They're very, very, very similar. And so my heart is with the Mihalik family at this time. So I bring it back to Brian, and I extend to you all to always be joyful, smile, and do something kind every day, and it'll change your life. I've been doing that ever since Brian's funeral in January of 2017, and that's it. So I truly am happy at the legacy of these two men whose lives are memorialized and honored every year, and will continue to do that. So I'm happy.
Ladies first.
Thank you. I have $3 happy. Last week I finished a class. Next week I'm finishing another. And these $3 measly represent the 3 classes that I have left in grad school.
I've got $5 happy. I know my son was honored with the Bricka Memorial Scholarship some years ago, and he was very honored by that.
All right, I got well, $3 happy and then 2 have to leave early, unfortunately. Not really happy bucks, but I guess fortunate bucks. You might notice on my hand, I have a little bit of a stitches and a wound, and this could have been a lot worse. Nothing major. I wasn't like shark bit or a knife fight. I was playing VR and punched a dog crate and cut into my hand. So I'm just thankful it wasn't on a knuckle, only between fingers, and I was able to get it stitched up and urgent care was open, and yeah, it doesn't hurt anymore. So I'm happy about that.
Did you say you were playing virtual reality? And there's your sign. Okay. I'll let the mayor go.
Thank you so much. So I just came from Chris and Lauren Schaffner's opening. There was a ribbon cutting for their pharmacy, which has come to Sedro Woolley. It's on the corner of Puget and Ferry. They took the bank and they remodeled it, and they have coffee in there. They've got all kinds of goods in there that you can buy other than just picking up your medication. But you have to go in and see it. It's really well thought out and well done, and we are excited to have them come to Sedro Woolley. And I just have to share one thing that Daryl and I were talking about. So we were talking about all the iPads, and we all have our phones and whatnot. He was saying when he was a young boy, in his town, there were only 2 TVs, and one was in the hardware store and the other was a friend's house. So we've come a long way, baby, haven't we? Yeah.
So I have a happy 5. We're the greatest Rotary club in the universe, and it's because of people. And last night we finished up the golf business league and got to play with some awesome Rotarians, Christine and Mike and Travis and my dad, and we all had a really great time. Luckily, it wasn't in proportion to how well we were playing, but we had a great time nonetheless.
I had a similar golf experience. We had fun. I don't think we won anything, but we had fun. I'm sincerely appreciative of Eric, and I want to give a big shout out. We need to give him a big round of applause for getting the speakers in. I think we need to work on the bass, get the bass a little more, and I'm sure he's already thought all that through, but let's give him a great big round of applause.
That's why you can hear me today. Anyone else? Happy buck? Anyone? Going once?
Thank you, Ruth. And I'll throw a happy 10. We talked about the sound system as a board for, I think, almost 2 years, and it's finally come to fruition. So Eric, well done. Happy $10. I'll Venmo you, Steve. Little trivia. Francis Farmer was mentioned a little while ago as a patient at Northern State, but we have one esteemed member of our Rotary that graduated from the same high school as Francis Farmer. Does anybody know who that is? David? Nope, not a Ballard High grad. Good guess, though. West Seattle High grad, I'll tell you that. Anybody know who that person is? Kyle Rutherford, both esteemed West Seattle High grads. Thought that was a nice trivia. Okay, let's move on with our program. This week have a two-part program presented by Ann. Ann, I cannot pronounce your last name. Okay. Sorry. From the Skagit County Historical Museum, and Sharon Howe, archivist from and research librarian from the Sedro Woolley Museum. Both presentations will focus on the history, stories, and preservation of Northern State, as well as the upcoming historical event taking place August 12th and 13th at Northern State. They'll talk a little bit more about that. So please welcome Ann and Sharon.
Hello, my name's Ann Skupnowicz-Moroni, a nice Polish name. I'm from Wisconsin originally. I'm the office man. We're a small museum. I'm the office manager, safety officer, facilities person, strong back, weak mind. And I curated, and for this event, I'm coordinating the Northern State Public History Days. If you haven't been up to our museum, we've been around for a little over 50 years. We're a private nonprofit, originally started by Skagit County government and then spun off to our own nonprofit status. We represent the history of the entire county, but we collaborate with all the other museums in the county. We work with Sedro Woolley and the Port of Skagit on this one. Our board is made up of 15 people representing the different school districts in Skagit County. There are spots open if anyone's interested. If you've come up to the museum at the top of the hill in LaConner, we have 3 galleries, 2 kind of permanent ones that don't rotate much, and then east exhibit that has the best view in Skagit County off our deck, and that's our main exhibit space. Right now we're sharing the story of a Sedro Woolley teacher, Levon Newell Ream. She was a teacher at art teacher, Cascade Middle School for 23 years. Amazing, amazing woman, started at Concrete, ended up on Fur Island when she passed away last year at 90 years old. She climbed mountains, she ran marathons, she commercial fished, she influenced generations of artists and your students here in Sedro Woolley. Our museum also has 2 storage facilities for 3D objects. We own 2 historic schoolhouses, Rosario and Anacortes, and the Skagit City School on Fur Island. And we're made up of 1 full-time person and 6 part-time people. So back last November, Sharon, Amy Mua, Mary Densmore, our archivist, and Joe Wolf, our executive director, got together to share what we have in our Northern State collections. Any 3D items, any 2D items, photos, oral histories, books, and such things. And after that, we identified gaps in our collection and kind of lamented that our collections weren't very deep, and we knew people were aging, and we wanted to not lose this important history of Skagit County. So we kind of brainstormed an antique roadshow event and refined it down to our public history days. The purpose of the event is to capture people's stories, hear them, but not to take possession of anything. We really just want to do oral histories. If people have photos, hear the stories of those photos, scan them in. If you have 3D objects, we want to photo them and record their history. And that's going to be shared between the 2 museums. We'll have speakers all day from 11 to 2 through 2 every day. People who work there. Mary McGoffin is talking Saturday at 2. We've got Arnie Erickson, who is a nurse there, Carolyn Swanson. Dr. Jones was a superintendent there. His daughter is sharing stories, Chris Jones Gooden, about 3 patients that worked in their houses and that were very special to Chris. We also have a doctor whose parents were doctors at Northern State, and she was so influenced and mentored by the staff at Northern State Hospital. She became a doctor. She lives out in Chicago. She'll be flying out and speaking. We're creating a booklet with the history of the buildings that you can see along Hub Drive, and that's going to be available. The port will keep that in circulation. We're also coordinating with Job Corps. So we've never done anything like this. So it's mud on the wall. We're very excited to try this event, and we have another one planned next year at Camp Brotherhood to gather the stories of Father Tracy, because while he was doing all that good work, he didn't take any pictures or do anything but save his receipts, and there are boxes of receipts. But so Sharon, she's the expert for this presentation on Northern State. Do you want me to bring you the microphone, or do you want to come up here? I'm done. I'm really the logistics person.
Well, first, I'd like to start by thanking the Rotary Club that has supported the museum since its very start. And this community support is so very important, as it was back in the day when Northern State was in operation. And that's kind of the theme of what I'll talk about today, of the history. I have to tell you, I'm the second team. Amy Mua has curated our exhibit at the Sedro Woolley Museum. And if you haven't seen it, you really need to do that. And if you haven't seen the museum in the last couple of years, well, you need to get there, because we've made a lot of changes and upgrades, and we're getting really good feedback on that. So we're very encouraged. Of course, as with every group, we need volunteers. So I'd like to share with you today some of the interconnections between the community and the Northern State Asylum, which was its original name. This connection has been a vital part of Sedro Woolley's history and identity, and its legacy continues as of today. The city's citizens will have many future opportunities to make these connections to the Northern State site, or the Swift Center as it's now known, and it will, as it continues to develop under the umbrella of the Port of Skagit County. So whenever the state announced plans to build an institution and looked for a site, communities always competed for the money and the jobs it would bring. Some things never change. In this case, the state sought to combine an extensive farming operation with the mental hospital to help cut costs. The farm and its related enterprises, such as the dairy and the cannery, was to produce food for residents of Northern State and the Western State Asylum at Steilacoom. The state was looking for a large parcel of good farmland with water and wood supplies, as well as easy access to railroads and an established community. It turns out that Sedro Woolley met all those criteria, and it won the competition. Indeed, Northern State brought the promised jobs and money to the local economy from the very start of site development in 1909 until it was closed in 1973. For example, in 1958, the hospital had a payroll of more than $2 million and paid $500,000 for supplies from local businesses. And one of the things I noticed when I was looking at, for example, the 1921 City Polk Directory, practically every page listed several people who worked at Northern State and what they did. So practically at any given time, practically every family in our community had some connection or other to Northern State. Citizens and organizations of Sedro Woolley also gave back to Northern State in a great variety of ways. Rotary and other service organizations heard presentations from the hospital administrators or superintendents on a regular basis to promote community lobbying for Northern State needs. Dr. Dowdy, the second and longest serving superintendent, seems to have been one of the most memorable speakers. He was the prime mover in promoting work treatment so that people could feel that they had a real useful role in the lives of other people and themselves. But lobbying for state support was only one of ways the community helped Northern State and its patients. Organizations adopted those who had no families and sent them Christmas and birthday gifts. After World War I, the newly organized American Legion Post was provided with a list of the veterans who were residents at Northern State, and they visited them and provided them with extras such as books and cigarettes. At least by the time of the first Logger Rodeo July 4th celebration in 1948, many of the grand parade entries continued on to the Northern State campus so that the patients could experience a lovely 4th of July celebration. These are just a very few of the many examples that we can find in our research of the commitment that Sedro Woolley citizens made to the well-being of patients at Northern State. So as Anna said, the goal of Remembering Northern State event is to collect stories of people who had some kind of connection to the hospital. These are often the small stories that tend to get lost. They are the kind of stories we at the museum hear from our visitors on a regular basis. I'll share two examples that I've received been the recipient of, from people who are both graduates of Sedro Woolley High School. One was a fellow who worked on a delivery crew for the local furniture store during his school years. His most memorable delivery was taking mattresses up to the Northern State wards, which had a certain mystery and mystique about them because people just didn't get to visit them. The other was a fellow who told the story of the high school future farmers of America. The Sedro Woolley livestock judging team was famous for winning regional and state competitions on a regular basis. He explained that the Sedro Woolley team practiced at the Northern State Farm weekly before competitions. The Mount Vernon team, of course, complained that this was unfair because they could only get there one visit before a competition. We really hope that you will join us at Remembering Northern State. Encourage anyone you know who might have stories to share to do so. And for those interested in other stories, if you haven't read or seen this book, we have it at our gift shop. And we also have an exhibit on Northern State at the museum that is partly the responsibility. I don't know how many of you knew Dr. Fred Ward, but they ran the Portals program after the institution closed, and this was also a treatment for mental patients for several years. And at the conclusion, when he was involved with the beginning of the museum, Portals was closed down, and they had found all kinds of different things just left there. So our exhibit is thanks in great deal to Dr. Ward. And we much appreciate what he gave us, as well as Amy Mua, who curated the exhibit. She's collected a great deal of information and is working on another book that when she gets it done, we'll be promoting that as well. Also, if you really want to delve more deeply into the history, our research library offers access to a good-sized collection of Northern State materials, and the Skagit County Museum Research Library also has such materials. We hope you'll come to visit our museum. As I say, we welcome you, welcome volunteers, members, etc., for support. And I really thank you for letting me share a few stories of Northern State Hospital as we look forward to what the future will bring there. Thanks so much.
Sharon and Ann, thank you. Questions? Anybody have questions out there? You guys get off the, oh, there's a question. Julia.
Well, of course, although we have 10,000 square feet, we're rapidly outgrowing it. So we've had to be very selective and be very focused on what specifically represents the Sedro Woolley and Central Skagit area. And I think that's probably common to all museums these days.
I second that, Julia. Yes. Any other questions? Okay. Well, Sharon and Ann, thank you very much for coming and sharing your story with us about Northern State. You will have some gifts coming your way from the greatest Rotary Club in the universe. Unfortunately, they are in the mail, so we will get them to you when they come in. I want to say a little bit about projects. So Steve is working on the budget. We're going to have quite a bit of money to spend this year, which is a good thing. And thanks to President Rich and Mike. So start thinking about some projects other than the Janaki bathroom project and the pickleball project. But if you have something in mind, start thinking about it. I'll bring a form next week. We can start collating and coordinating those projects, and we'll prioritize them and then go from there. I want to thank and congratulate all the anniversary couples out there. Sarah, thank you for gracing us with your appearance. So I don't think I've missed any other guests. Breakdown, if you can break down, we can use all the help we can get. And do not forget about the Sunday concert at 6 o'clock. If you can help, that would be greatly appreciated.
So I just wanted to thank everybody for their patience with the ensuing sound system. As with any piece of technology, of course, there's going to be some growing pains. The mic today was evidence of that. Also, we are aware of the fact that the low end needs to be boosted. We have 2 subwoofers that are in the middle of the room and they're not firing yet because there's still a piece of gear on back order that will drive those once, and that will help with the low end. So it's still going to improve even more. So thank you.
Thank you, Eric. So with that, I'll adjourn the greatest Rotary Club in the universe meeting. We are adjourned.